That's not tremendously interesting after a while, and they're just perfect. They're not only creating art, they are an artist. Hi dancers, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to Twin Talks Ballet. Today I want to talk to you guys about what I believe it means to become an artist rather than just a dancer. So if you enjoyed this video and the points I share, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, look at me. I'm doing such a short intro today. Let's get into the points. Now, of course, these are just my subjective opinion as a former professional dancer. I also got my BFA in ballet from the University of Utah, and that is really where I started to contemplate with others and for myself, like, what does it really mean to be an artist, not just a dancer? And I even found that for me, I was quite uncomfortable labeling myself or even seeing myself internally as an artist. I found it to be pretentious, and I had a lot of questions about, like, what makes a dancer an artist? Am I good enough for that? What makes a dancer good enough for that? So I want to hopefully help you guys to contemplate this for yourselves in this video. I would also love to hear from you in the comments. What do you think makes a dancer an artist? Now, first, I want to talk about why it is so important to not only perceive yourself as an artist, especially as you mature and you maybe get into your later teens or 20s, maybe you're looking to become a professional dancer or you are a professional dancer. I want to talk to you about why I believe it's so important to really set an intention to be an artist and not just a dancer, not just a technician, honestly, not just someone who does these dance moves, but someone who is really creating art. And the reason why I think this is so important is because so many dancers these days are extremely well trained. We know this. We have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have TikTok, all that stuff. And it's so easy to see how many hundreds and seemingly thousands of dancers are a bajillion times more talented than you, and they're just perfect. I have another video coming up, maybe it's already out, about how to use social media in a way that is mentally healthy for you and productive. But for now, I just want to say it is so important, of course, to have clean technique. But that's not the end-all be-all. It is critical to differentiate yourself from other dancers, not by just having a higher extension or better point work, footwork, whatever it is, doing an extra turn, but to have that X factor, as it's often described, that spark, that special something about you that makes someone who's watching you just enraptured. It makes you seem magnetic, like someone's eye just goes to you when you come out, even if you're in the court of ballet. I think that is one of the defining traits of what it looks like or what it means to be an artist and how that differentiates you. When a dancer takes that extra step in maturity to go beyond fixating themselves on, I have to be flawless in my technique, I have to do everything perfectly, to what impression do I want to create? What mood do I want to create? What feeling do I want to share? What story do I want to tell? That shift in intention comes out in their expression, their energy, their body language in a way that genuinely sets you apart from other dancers. It actually allows people who are watching you to go into an experience with you rather than just to see that you're very clearly, even if it's just in the look in your eyes, you're very clearly focused so much on technique that usually when people are watching you, we're very intuitive creatures. We could sense each other's focus, our drive. We could sense each other's intentions. And usually what happens when a dancer is so fixated on just technique, first, you're only relying on how someone else is telling you to do and interpret the movements. So you're not really creating anything new. You're just living up to a standard that's been pre-created. That's not tremendously interesting after a while. What happens is, instead of a person who's watching you having the inward experience that you're having, whether that's fun, joy, drama, whatever it is, what they're picking up on is, she's focused on technique, and, their eye, maybe without even knowing it, it's often very unconscious. It goes to, well, are her feet pointed? Well, her leg was higher. She stayed longer on point. I hope that illustrates to you the importance of becoming an artist, because it actually allows you to energetically and visually stand out from the rest. So let's talk more specifically about what I believe it takes to become an artist rather than just a technician. And I want to say technician because I do think that often the term dancer, it's just become so dull, especially in serious ballet training. We forget that, when maybe you are just doing a little happy dance, we forget that dancing like that, just how different it is from how we take class, which is often like, I have to do this movement right, and it's all about control and perfection or whatever. But when you're just dancing in the purest sense, in your apartment or wherever it is, or at a party, whatever, notice how different those intentions are. The practice of it is so different. And I really believe to be a dancer in the truest sense is to be expressing an inward experience outwardly through physical movement. To be a dancer should be synonymous with being an artist. You're creating an experience, you're creating a visual, you're creating an idea, you're sharing it, I think that is what it means to be an artist in one sense. And so often we forget to actually dance as dancers. We're honestly just doing intense physical exercise oftentimes, disguised as what is called dancing. So that is one thing I want to bring to your awareness. Hey dancers, I want to just briefly pause today's video to talk to you guys about a great opportunity that I have for you to really prepare yourself to excel in auditions. And not only that, to feel confident and proud of what you're putting out there, no matter the results of your auditions. And that is the Mindset Plus Movement Technique Accelerator program. This is a program I decided to create a couple months ago that uniquely mixes my expertise as a ballet teacher to help students find an approach to technique that allows them to create massive improvement in their turnout, their extensions, things like pirouettes, whatever your trouble steps are that keep you consistently frustrated. I am very passionate about using kinesiological principles to help you find a way to improve your technique in a way that works for your body, makes excellent technique possible. And I'm also so passionate about the fact that I believe good technique is efficient technique, and it might even feel easier for you and better on your body than your old approach. So I combine that approach with my expertise as a mindset coach to do mindset coaching with you during our private lessons together over Zoom, of course, to help you overcome the mental blocks, frustrations, and limiting beliefs that consistently impact your ability to do things well, like pirouettes, adagios, whatever turnout, whatever it is that you feel locked up before you do it. You feel frustrated, or you're like, oh no, pirouettes, I'm terrible at those. That is a mental block, my friend. So I combine mindset work with technique work to help dancers drastically improve their technique in a short amount of time and to finally feel confident in their ability to dance well. There's nothing I love more than helping dancers fall in love with their own dancing and to feel free and joy and confidence, while they're dancing. So if you're interested in this program, I'd highly recommend you click the link below to check out all the details that this program includes that I was not able to talk about here, and also apply for the program. I can only work with 4 dancers at a time. Spots are already filling up for January, which is a great time to do audition prep after the holidays. So apply now, check out the details of the program. I can't wait to work with you. All right, let's get on with the rest of the video. Another point in what I believe differentiates being a I'm going to again say technician versus an artist is a technician is taking someone else's choices, like all my dancers, as the teacher, all my dancers need to have their leg at a perfect 90-degree angle, a certain degree of rotation in the leg. They're taking someone else's choice and trying to perfectly execute that. So really you're trying to live up to someone else's standard, and maybe the level of autonomy you're exercising is just, I'm choosing to follow this person's directions. But what an artist does in contrast is they, of course, have a certain level of competency in the basics to be able to use those movements or those technical details in order to then use those as a building block for exercising a choice beyond what has been asked of them. For example, I could be told as a student to do an adagio, and the teacher, they're showing the combination, and so the expectation is that I do what they've showed, and then they might give a little note like, okay, and then also when you transition from a facet, you do a ton lié into an arabesque or something like that. I want you to really sweep into that arabesque and then extend that position and then have resistance on your way down, whatever it is. So these are artistic, qualitative details. But I think a student can take those commands really effectively and do it just like they were told. That makes them artistic as a dancer because they're exhibiting artistic qualities. But when you, I believe, graduate to the level of artist, it doesn't mean you're technically perfect, but it means you have achieved enough competency so that you're free from having to fixate yourself so much on the technique that you don't have any more mental space to make choices about how you want to qualitatively approach certain steps. Do you want to draw out one step into, that piqué arabesque until the very last second, and then maybe speed up that tombe pas de bris a little bit, syncopate it, use the quality of rubato when you kind of steal from one phrase and go into another to create intrigue, dynamics. I think what an artist does is, like I said, you have enough technical capabilities in order to be able to do the technique well and to be able to just do the movements, period, to then have the presence of mind to make choices like I described, or for example, making choices about what emotion they want to portray, how they want to emulate the music, how they want to highlight visually little sounds and tones, or maybe the harmony of the music. An artist uses their mind to make choices like that. Choices that aren't necessarily required of them or asked of them, but it's of their own will and volition. Second, I believe what separates a technician from an artist is first the presence of some sort of internal experience that is pleasurable as you're dancing, and then the sharing of that. So what I mean by that is what a technician will do is, if you're a good technician, you will do your absolute best to do all the things that are asked of you. But on the inside, you're so fixated on the technique and the quality and stuff. But on the inside, you're so in your head. On the inside, you're not feeling any passion, any joy. You're not feeling any sort of, feeling from the music. If the music is perky, you're not perky. If the music is dramatic, it's an adagio, it's heartfelt, it's rich, you're still basically presenting yourself. You're having the same inward experience as you would when you're doing like a quick dégagé. What an artist does is they're having an internal experience that then comes out in their body language and their movement in very subtle ways. And then through the process of rapport, because like I always say, us humans are very intuitive, we sense a lot of communication. Actually, 56%, it's been shown in studies, is body language, not words, not even tonality. The largest indicator of communication, or what is communicated, is your body language and your physicality. So when you are having this internal experience, it does come out in your body language, in your facial expression, your eyes, in subtle ways, and people can pick up on that. People can also very much pick up on the fact that you're trying to present yourself as confident and happy, but you're not feeling that on the inside. We can tell. We can tell there's an inauthenticity there. An artist is genuinely, authentically having that experience on the inside, whatever it is, and then they're sharing that. What that does for the audience is it creates an experience for them that's impactful emotionally. And that is really what art does in many different modalities of art. Art is thought-provoking. It provokes feelings, emotions, memories, ideas. And when a dancer is also doing that, I think they're not only creating art, they are an artist. I also think, and again, this is my subjective opinion, but one thing that I believe differentiates a technician from an artist is shifting from your value being pleasing and fulfilling a standard to actually choosing and sharing. So you're shifting again from doing these movements perfectly for someone else because they said so. You still have an appropriate level of care about what your director is asking you to do. However, your value that is above that even is what choices you make artistically, what choices you make and how to express what you're doing, how to really bring the steps that you're given to life. And then to secondarily focus on sharing that experience I was talking about. You're sharing a story, an experience, a feeling. Yeah, I do think that value shift is something I consistently see in dancers that I look at. I'm like, okay, I think I see them as an artist. The last point I will share is an artist through experience, time, you over time gain an awareness of who you genuinely are, how you are an individual, in what ways are you an individual? What differentiates you from others? What do you like? What's your personality? And you know, it does take time and experience to understand and to differentiate from who you felt you needed to be for your parents, or who you were told to be by your ballet teachers, you know, or the people you look up to. Maybe you have, since you've been a child, you've just been trying to be just like them because they seem cool. That's a really normal part of growing up, is to learn how you're different from them, how you can be inspired by them or learn from things that they didn't do well, and how you want to be different. And it's a process of learning through experience and then choosing what you're going to do with that experience. And honestly, that's called maturity. And when you have that sense of maturity as a person, when you have perspective, when you have a level of understanding about who you are that you can then operate from and make choices from, I think that really bleeds into your dancing. And it can lead you to have the capacity to make artistic choices because you understand what you love about dancing. You know why you do it. You know the feeling that you love to get and share from it. You know your favorite steps. You know what you're good at. You know the things you want to work on. Well, everyone's so aware of that. With that level of knowing yourself, you're then able to express yourself. I think so many young dancers talk about, I love dance because it allows me to express myself. And that's certainly possible at any age. Like, you have feelings to express for sure, but do you really know yourself? And I'm not here to like poo-poo on, you know, you don't know yourself if you're a certain age. Not at all. I just do want to invite every dancer who's watching to get to know yourself better and to work with your current understanding of who you are to then express that. Not just what you're feeling at any moment, but who you are through your dancing. What is your perspective that you want to share? What perspective and character of yours, identity of yours, informs the decisions you make artistically, qualitatively as you dance? And I think operating out of that experience and maturity is it's not what makes you an artist, but if you have that, and if you, like I said, operate out of it, you make choices consciously out of that understanding, I do think that makes you more of an artist. So dancers, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did. I'd really appreciate it. And again, comment down below, what do you think makes an artist instead of just a technician? I would love to hear from you. And remember also to subscribe if you haven't already, because I come out with new videos every single week on the Twin Talks Ballet YouTube channel. So I will see you in the next video. And until then, make it a great week. Bye, dancers.